This is EcoFlow's own $3,600 solar setup, and this is my EcoFlow solar setup that's more powerful and cost me $1,300 less. But they don't want you to know about this, so I'm gonna show you how I put it all together. First up, we need to find cheaper and more powerful solar panels. All right, so what are we up against here? Well, to max out the solar charging of this power station with only EcoFlow parts, you'd buy 2 of these 400 watt panels for a whopping $1,100 as of this recording. That's expensive and we can definitely do better, but where might we find huge solar panels like that that are significantly cheaper and where it's not a hassle to buy from? You might think to look at a site that sells solar equipment like Signature Solar, but their minimum order quantity on panels of that size is typically 10. So that's a no. You might also know that you can find incredible deals on solar panels on Facebook Marketplace, but that's not the easiest buying experience. And besides, I don't have a truck that can transport this size solar panel, so that's also a no. So where are we left with? Well, there is a little known site that now sells massive solar panels at great prices with fast, free shipping, and that site is Amazon. That's right, this is a relatively recent development. Amazon now sells huge solar panels that they will ship to your door for free. Like, look at this. 2 of these 400 watt panels would cost me under $500, which is like $600 cheaper than the EcoFlow panels. And I'm trying to max out the solar charging on this power station because both the EcoFlow setup and my setup have the same goal, which is to turn this power station into the most powerful solar setup possible. Oh, wow. These ones are 425 watts, so they're bigger than the EcoFlow panels. And currently it's a limited deal. So if I was to get 2 of them, it would run me around $470, great reviews, free delivery in 2 days. And looking at their specs, I can tell that they are compatible with this EcoFlow power station. This is a great deal. These are the ones I'm gonna go with. And I also added to cart the extension cables and the adapter cables I need to plug the solar panels into this power station. And all this adds up to $550, which is half the cost of those 2 smaller EcoFlow panels. Let's buy this stuff. The solar panels have been secured. Next up in the journey of turning this power station into the most powerful solar setup possible, we need to find an expansion battery. So the biggest EcoFlow battery that works with this model is the Delta Pro 3 Smart Extra Battery. And to use it with this EcoFlow, you also need to buy a particular cable. So the total for all that is currently $1,850. And the problem is that the extra battery ports on power stations typically only accept that brand's expansion batteries. So an EcoFlow power station only accepts EcoFlow expansion batteries. And because they've locked you into their ecosystem, they charge an arm and a leg for those extra batteries. How do we get around this? With this EcoFlow, there are 3 ways to do it. The first is the classic expansion battery hack, which is when you buy a separate battery, buy one of these cables that connects to a solar charging port on the back of your power station, plug it in, and then you can charge the EcoFlow with an extra battery. The pros is that this is very easy and these batteries are very cheap. The cons is that it takes up one of your solar charging ports, and on a lot of power stations you only have one, and you still need to buy a separate battery charger to charge up this extra battery. So that led people to try a second approach, which is hacking the expansion battery port yourself. Don't worry, we're not gonna do that in this video. The pros is that you get to use that port and save one of your solar charging ports. And this battery would then charge your extra battery when it gets depleted. The cons, pretty obvious, just more difficult. Requires more specialized DIY knowledge to do that. So that has created an opportunity for some companies to pursue a third solution, which is they figure out how to make their own cheaper batteries compatible with that extra battery port. So who's doing this? Well, let me introduce you to WattCycle, which is a battery company that created a cable that makes their own batteries compatible with some EcoFlow models. And they now sell kits with their batteries and cables together. And the particular kit that I'm looking at, it's so popular that as of the time I'm recording this, it's out of stock. But the day that I post this video, it should be restocked. So I will put links below in the video description and in the pinned comment if you want to check it out. And I emailed WattCycle and they said that it will sell for $899. That is $950 less than that EcoFlow extra battery that we looked at. And y'all, the battery in this kit is a 5 kilowatt hour battery, so it is 25% bigger. That is so much savings that when I first heard about this kit, I reached out to WattCycle seeing if they would send me one for this video. And they did. Which means that we now have everything we need to put this setup together and get it working. But first, I quickly want to tell you about this blog post I read recently from Andrej Karpathy, one of the world's top AI researchers, about digital hygiene. He's worked at several major tech companies, and look at this first line. Every now and then, I get reminded about the vast fraud apparatus of the internet. And then he goes on to talk about basic privacy and security practices. Reading this was a wake-up call for me to take better care of my own digital hygiene. And one part of my digital hygiene toolkit is Incogni, the sponsor of today's video. Incogni is a service that scours the internet for sites showing your personal data, and then it sends takedown requests to get your data removed. You can see how many removal requests Incogni has sent and completed for me since I set it up a couple months ago. It's literally hundreds of requests. And I don't know how closely you've been paying attention, but there's something of a crisis of personal privacy going on right now. Companies are using personal data to do things like suppress wages or raise prices on things like groceries and airline tickets. And in that blog post, Karpathy talks about how regular data breaches feed this whole underground scammer industry, which has recently gotten a lot more capable thanks to AI. With any unlimited plan, Incogni's exposure scanner seeks out places where your personal information appears online and surfaces them in one place. You also get a risk assessment, which is a tailored report about your privacy progress that gives you actionable insights based on your exposures. So if you want to improve your digital hygiene, go to incogni.com/footprint and then use code footprint for 60% off. The link and code are in the description and pinned comment below. Again, that's incogni.com/footprint and then use code footprint for 60% off. All right, and with that, I think it is high time to start setting this up, beginning with the solar panels. Making sure these panels were compatible with the power station was very simple. On the product page, I just really looked at two numbers. The first was the open circuit voltage, which I can look at the specs label here. It's upside down, but let me try to read it. 38.3 volts, and then I compared that to the voltage range of the Delta 3 Plus, which is 11 to 60 volts. It is well within that range. And second, I looked at the solar current limit on the Delta 3 Plus. It's 15 amps per port. And I compared that to the short circuit current on the product page, which if I recall, it was 13.8 amps, and we can confirm that here. Again, it's upside down. Short circuit current, wait, 17.5? Wait, they put the wrong specs on the website? I gotta check this. All right, come on, specs. It says 13.8, and here it says 17.5. That is a critical error on their part for this setup. All right, y'all, I grabbed a solar meter, which I should be able to use to track the short circuit current of this panel. And it is a bit of a partly cloudy day today, so I brought out a solar irradiance meter, which I'm using to track how sunny it is currently. I'm looking for something close to 1,000 watts, but honestly, in these conditions, if it gets up to 800 watts, then that's when I'll measure. So to use this meter, I just connect. Oh, no. It's 900. Oh, it's over 1,000. Oh my gosh. Let's get this connected. Come on. Shoot. Not expecting this. There we go. Okay. It's connected. Oh my God, it's over 1,100. Let's turn this on. Is it measuring? Oh, 17 amps. Can you see that? God, I wish I could use it, but I can't. Oh no. I bought new panels and the box is beat up. Let's see if there's any damage to them. Thankfully, it all looks good. Just some scratches on the corner. Let's look at the label on the back to see if they're compatible. So I bought these 400 watt panels from a brand called Renogy. I own a few Renogy panels. I just trust their documentation a lot more than those, budget Amazon brands I was looking at. And there were 3 different places in the documentation that said this panel's current is compatible with the Delta 3 Plus. I have not looked at the specs label yet. Open circuit voltage 39.4, short circuit current 13.06. Okay, I can use them. These 2 panels cost me $660, so not as cheap as the other ones I bought, but they are still hundreds of dollars cheaper than the EcoFlow panels. All right, now we finally have everything we need to set this up. So let's get going. Let's start with the expansion battery. WattCycle has made it very easy. I just need to connect that included cable to the battery terminals. Now I'm gonna slide on these included covers to cover the battery terminals. Then I turn on the battery by pushing the power button, and I can see on the screen here, there's a lot of numbers, it's a little overwhelming, but I'm looking at state of charge, it is 58% charged. And now, this expansion battery is ready to go. I plug this connector into the expansion battery port here, flip this little blue switch, and I have added, just like that, 5 kilowatts of battery capacity to my EcoFlow. Next up, let's set up the solar panels. Very easy. I bought some extension cables because it's just always super nice to have a set of these in a setup like this. And I'm just gonna take the male MC4 connector, use your imagination as to why they call it the male connector, plug it into the red extension cable, or if your extension cables are the same color, you know, it doesn't really matter which one you use. And then take the female MC4 connector, plug in that extension cable. Then what I have here is an MC4 to XT60i adapter cable. XT60i is the solar port type on the EcoFlow Delta 3 Plus. And just like that, this is ready to be plugged into one of the solar ports on the EcoFlow. Then I just repeated the process with the second panel, and now these are ready to go. I didn't connect them together because I'm gonna plug each one into its own solar charging port. I say we give it a spin. So I'm gonna plug this in to the expansion battery port on the EcoFlow. If you look close, you can see two tiny little pins there. What I think Wattlink has done is somehow mimicked the data signal that EcoFlow uses to communicate between power stations and their own expansion batteries. Nothing is happening yet though, because I have not yet flipped the switch on the battery. Wattlink says you should try to match the states of charge as best you can when you first connect them. So this is at 55%. This is at 58%, that's pretty close. But Wattlink does say if there's too much of a difference, then the EcoFlow might actually pause the connection. So we're gonna see if I need to charge this up a little bit more. All right, I've got the app open. We'll be able to see if anything happens when I flip the switch. 3, 2, 1. Okay, in the app, not seeing anything on the input or output side. Let me look at the screen here, see if we get any action. Okay, 0.7 amps going out. Let me actually confirm that with my meter. Okay, so there is a little bit of current. What we're seeing on the battery is matched on my meter, about 0.6, 0.7 amps. So it looks like there's a little bit of power flowing, but I'm not seeing it in the app, and I don't see anything on the screen. So I'm gonna plug in the solar panels and we're gonna see what happens. All right, plugged it in. It'll take a second. All right, solar power is coming in. 200, whoa. Wow, close to 400 watts, 380. Now let me check the screen here. Oh, current, 5.2 amps. So what that means, can you see that? 5.4 amps. So what that means is they are connected. They are connected. And the solar panel is charging the power station and the expansion battery. Yes, yes. Okay, one quirk that I've heard about of this setup, you know, and it's a trade-off I'm happy to make to save hundreds of dollars, is that these two do not communicate perfectly. So sometimes you experience what I just experienced, which is, you know, it's a little hard to tell if they're connected. You have to check the screens rather than just being able to look in the app. And what it says is a little misleading, which is 8 hours, oh wait, 8 hours recharge time, 400 watts, give or take, 3.2 kilowatt hours. Yeah, this recharge time is accounting for an expansion battery, but I don't know what size expansion battery it's accounting for. Fascinating. All right, okay, sun's coming back out. I'm happy this is working. I was a little worried I'd have to charge up this thing to 100%, which would just take a day. Let's plug in this bad boy. Oh my gosh, y'all, 776 watts, dropping down to 750. Hell yeah, we're getting about 390 watts from both panels. They're 400 watt panels, and it's hot as hell out right now. That is impressive output. Let me get the clamp meter going. Ah, clouds just came in. Oh, it's a big cloud too, isn't it? Crap. Okay, we got a big cloud, so not much charging is happening right now, and I want to see what happens when we discharge the power station. So I grabbed a 1500 watt, pretty powerful little space heater. I'm gonna discharge the battery using this space heater. Okay, it's running. Okay, so it's using quite a bit of power, 800 watts currently, slowly creeping up. And now what does it say on the battery screen? Negative 20 amps. So it is definitely pulling from the battery. Let me just go ahead and show you. Yeah, output of around 20 amps. That's about 1,000 watts coming from this expansion battery, and then the rest being pulled from the EcoFlow's battery. I mean, pretty much plug and play. So these work great, but what about those cheaper, more powerful, higher current panels that I originally bought? So to explain my thinking a bit more about why I didn't want to use these panels with this setup, yeah, it's over the current limit, but sometimes that's okay to do. I go based off of what the brand says. So I emailed EcoFlow and I did ask them specifically about the Delta 3 Plus, and they said, do not use these panels with it because it's over the current limit. Some brands will say it's okay. And even with that brand guidance, some people will still say it doesn't matter. But you know, there's precedence for this with MPPT charge controllers, you know, having a short circuit current that above which they cannot handle, you know, so it's an edge case definitely that this would damage the power station. But in this situation where I could be talking to a lot of people with these videos, I like to respect the edge cases because I don't want you to waste your hard-earned money on something that gets damaged. But if you are a risk taker, well, we're gonna see what happens if you were to do exactly this.
Once again with the meter, close to 1,000 watts per meter squared, should be getting close to full power.
Got the app open, and I'm gonna plug in one of these more powerful solar panels into the solar charging port. Okay, recognizes there's a solar panel connected. Oh, 260 watts, 363, jumped up to around 400 watts, which is honestly kind of similar to the Renogy panels on a per panel basis. But look at that, it's charging, it's working. Now, what I'm curious about, I wanna see the current running through one of these wires to see what we're dealing with here. It's right around 11 and a half, I don't know if you can read that. 13, ooh, it jumped up to 13 amps. So here's the thing, is that the operating current of the panel is different from the short circuit current. It's not gonna be near that 17 amp current when it's plugged in. Time to plug in the second panel. The first panel's output dropped a bit. Jumps right up to 375, 720 watts combined. Oh, it's hot. Oh, there's some shade. You could see it, can't you? There's some shade on the corner there. The power station's charging the battery at 10 amps, which is again, roughly 500 watts. Hey, these panels are working. All right, I moved them so it's not shaded in the corner anymore, and I'm gonna let these solar charge the setup for 1 hour, see if there's any funny business with these panels connected. Now, I've talked all video about the good things about this setup, and I've talked about one downside, which is how it doesn't communicate the best and charge time and run time is not perfectly estimated. But there are two more downsides that I want to tell you about. The first is very real. The second is a hypothetical one. The first is that this Wattlink battery is not compatible with every power station, not even every EcoFlow power station. The specific models are listed on the product page, but it's severely limited at the moment. The second is a question that I have. How does EcoFlow respond to this? I'm sure they are not happy about Wattlink doing this. Can they push a firmware update that somehow affects the compatibility of this battery? I feel like a cat and mouse game is going to emerge. In my mind, those are acceptable trade-offs for the savings that this setup gets you. And there's actually more savings because Wattlink gave me a coupon code to share with you. It'll give you 8% off. It's Alex8, and I will put the specific links to this kit, all the products in this video, the power station, the solar panels, the cables, all in the video description and in the pinned comment below. All right, y'all, it has been an hour for the solar panels, so let's check the batteries. The watt cycle battery is up to 65%, still charging at around 7 amps, 53 volts, so maybe 350 or so watts coming in. And the EcoFlow, still solar charging. Look at that, and you can see there's 2 solar icons there, so both sets of panels are still charging it. No issue after an hour, and it's at 64%. So again, I wouldn't recommend these panels to everyone, but if you're a bit of a risk taker, hey, you do you. But you could see after an hour, even these massive panels only charge the batteries up by like 7 or 8%, just goes to show you how much capacity this setup has.